As we get deeper into our PlayStation Platinum Collection, gaming markets are one of the best places to find the remaining games that we need for the collection. And that's exactly what we're doing in this episode, hitting up the London gaming market. Again, folks, and welcome back to the PlayStation Platinum Project. My challenge for 2023 to try and add all 160 PAL release Platinum PlayStation 1 games to my collection. And at the end of the last episode, we had 107 out of the possible 160 games. That means there is just 53 games to go for us to complete the PlayStation Platinum Project. Now, it is getting harder to find these games, but one of the best places to find these games is gaming markets. And that's exactly what we're doing in this episode, hitting up the London gaming market. It must have been destiny that I needed to go to the London gaming market. It was the same weekend I was in London for both WWE Money in the Bank and WWE SmackDown. It was a Sunday morning just before we had to get the train back, and everything had lined up perfectly. So the only thing left to do is cross our fingers and hope we can add some more games to the PlayStation Platinum Project. Just before we head to the London gaming market, I want to remind you folks, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe, as I put new episodes of the PlayStation Platinum Project out periodically, and I don't need to miss an episode. But if you do miss an episode, I'm going to link all the episodes up to this one in a playlist. Now, here is normally where I'd say we're on the road to the London gaming market, but this time we were on the river, as actually taking the Uber boat was the best way for us to cross the city in the smallest amount of time. And if you were ever in London, I would 100% recommend this. This is a great way to see some of the best sights of London from a different angle. Like, so much of the time in London, I would travel by tube or even by Ubers, but taking the Uber boat was a really good way to see some of these amazing London attractions from a different angle, even though Tower Bridge is a little bit less exciting from the river. Even with the help of Uber Boat, we did get to the gaming market a little bit later than we had hoped, and there was a massive queue. This was about midday, so it had been open for a few hours, but there was still so many awesome bargains to be had, and fingers crossed we were going to find some more PlayStation 1 Platinum games to cross off the list. So jumping straight in, and there's some Platinum games here for sure, and in really nice condition. And this is the thing about the gaming markets. This is where you're going to find stacks of stock. Like, look at this box. It is absolutely rammed with PlayStation 1 games, both Black Label and Platinum. But the question is, can we find the specific Platinum games that I am missing for the PlayStation Platinum Project? The gaming markets are the best places to find these last games we need for the collection, so let's hope so. Some more games here, and a game I actually already have for the PlayStation Platinum Project, but I am looking for the Toys R Us variant. So I'm keeping an eye out for Bust a Move 2, but it's the Toys R Us variant. I'm not really trying to find variants, but I know that one's out there, and I know it's a cheap variant, and I think it'd be cool to have in the collection, because who doesn't want to be a Toys R Us kid? Here we have a really common game which I've been trying to find for ages for the right price for the PlayStation Platinum Project, Rayman. That's because at the start of this year, I saw this at a car boot for £5 and passed, and I'm just stubborn. I'm refusing to pay more than £5 for Rayman. I see it all the time, and I am sure I can get this game for a £5. I think this next game could be one of the rarest games on the PlayStation Platinum Project, Need for Speed Road Challenge. I have never seen this game before, and even though it's 20 quid, I'm picking this one up because, like I said, I have never seen this game before. And even better, in the box right next to it is our second find of the day, Firestorm Thunderhawk 2. This is a fairly common game, but this is in really nice condition, and for £4, I'm more than happy to cross this game off the list. Even though I have a list of the games I still need for the PlayStation Platinum Project, both physically and on my phone, I still nearly pick games up again, like this game, Moto Racer. I think I actually picked this up at Norwich Gaming Market, so I literally picked it up about 2 weeks before filming this episode, and I'm glad I didn't pick it up again, but it's not the first mistake today. So we were doing pretty well. A couple more games crossed off the PlayStation Platinum project. And it's the thing, they are getting harder and harder to find. Even though there's absolutely boxes of games here, it's finding the right games I need for the collection. And as we get closer to that goal of 160 games, unfortunately it is only going to get harder. And I've learned so much throughout the PlayStation Platinum project so far. Like Tony Hawk's 1 and 2, fairly common. Tony Hawk's 3, a little bit more uncommon. Tony Hawk's 4, even more uncommon, still to find. All around the games market there was massive boxes of games, but here we have a small pile of PlayStation 1 games and a game I've needed for ages, Toy Story 2. I have never played this game. It's a £15 game in CX, so I managed to make a deal and pick this one up for £10, which is a saving of a third of the price I would have paid in CX. It's in really nice condition, and it goes to show you can still find some absolute bargains at gaming markets. And it's just always worth asking if the price on a sticker is the price you have to pay. But back to the massive boxes of PS1 games, and I think this game is just taunting me today. Everywhere I go today, I just keep seeing copies of Rayman for the PS1, and I've said it all episode, I am not picking up this game unless I can get it for £5 or less. And even though this one was in absolutely amazing condition, I think it had £8 or £9 on it, which, to be honest, is about the going rate for this game. But I'm determined, I'm sticking to my guns with my £5 budget. There is one thing that can be quite difficult about gaming markets. A lot of stores put their very best, rarest, most expensive games on these racks behind their main store. And if you don't have the best eyesight in the world, it can be really hard to not miss an absolute bang on here. Now, if I did miss anything, please let me know in the comments down below. Now, total transparency here, I was either going to cut this piece out of the episode or just say I bought this game by mistake again as an upgrade to like the condition. But yes, I have once again bought a game I already have in the PlayStation Platinum project. This time I'm buying another copy of FIFA Road to World Cup 98. Now, to be fair, I did get my last copy for free. This one is in slightly better condition, and if nothing else, I just like giving Sore Thumb Retro Game Store a little bit more of my custom. And I don't know, roast me in the comments down below. I've made mistakes, but will I ever learn? This was Doorway to Darkness's stand, and their stand was absolutely stacked, quite literally, with PlayStation 1 games. And this is what you love to see. I just love being able to dig for these massive piles of games, just trying to find those hidden bangers and games I need for the collection. Now, unfortunately, I don't think I found any games from them this time. That's because they were at the Norwich gaming market a few weeks before, and I did pick some games up from there. Now, I've shopped at Doorway to Darkness's stands at various gaming markets around the country, and they're always very transparent with their prices. This copy of Resident Evil was very tempting for 20 quid, but it was missing the manual, and for me, that is a game which I need to have complete in the box. Here's a game I hadn't seen until the last episode of the PlayStation Platinum project, and here it is again. Here we go, getting down and dirty at the gaming market, getting under the tables, because you never know what you're going to find under here. And here's a copy of Actua Soccer. Now, this one was in a little bit rough condition. It didn't have the manual, so I did pass. It is what I need for the PlayStation Platinum project, but remember, I'm going for these games to be in good condition and complete. And to be honest, it's a fairly common game. It's what I'm probably going to find again, so I did pass. Rummaging through this next box, I did get quite excited when out of the corner of my eye I caught a glimpse of a game I thought I needed, but sadly it was Abe's Odyssey when it is Abe's Exodus that we need for the PlayStation Platinum project. So close, but no cigar. London gaming market was absolutely awesome, but much like every other gaming market you go to, it is busy. There is a lot of people. It's just manic, it's hot, it's loud, it's very easy to get overwhelmed, and sometimes you just have to dive in and get on with things. Now, all of these PlayStation 1 games were under a table. Yes, I thankfully didn't buy a third copy of FIFA Road to World Cup 98, and you know, you just have to get stuck in because you don't know what you're missing if you're not like jumping into these boxes under tables. You can see here 2 massive tubs of PS1 games, and there just had to be something here I needed for the PlayStation Platinum project, so I'm just getting stuck in. Bear in mind, I'm on my hands and knees under a table in the middle of the gaming market. It's hot, It's cramped, but you can see here, PS2 Mini Games has helped me with a camera, just so I can have some light to see what I'm doing. But this is the thing, I don't want to miss out on these games now. We are getting down to the last set of games I need, and here's one we need. Moto Racer 2. Yes, we saw Moto Racer 1 at the start of the video. It is the second game I still needed for the collection. Don't need that one. Keep going through these. Moving on to this next box, there is a very, very heavy hitter coming up here, which I have passed so many times. Heart of Darkness. One of the best games on PS1, and the condition of this was incredible. It even had the 3D glasses. So to be able to pick up 2 of these games from under the table was a great deal. This next stall was ran by legendary YouTuber and a channel I have been watching for absolutely years, Ed Hunts. Now, while unfortunately didn't have anything we did need for the PlayStation Platinum project, he had a really, really good selection of retro games on here, and it's been really cool seeing him kind of build these games to sell through his videos. And we all enjoy collecting, but no one, and I mean no one, I think enjoys selling as much as Ed Hunts. He was in his absolute element. He was having a fantastic time. Like, he is just an absolute character. He was loving the gamer market. He just brings so much joy and energy. Even though he said it had been an absolutely exhausting day, he was just absolutely loving it. And it's just so cool to see these YouTubers in the real world showing as much passion as they do in videos. We are coming to the end. There's a few stalls left, and once again this game is taunting me.
How much? 7. It's getting lower.
Okay. Would you do 5 on Rayman at all?
I can meet you in the middle, do 6.
See, I've been determined to get. I saw it for a £5 at the start of the year, and it's like, I understand if you can't, but I'm just like determined to go for the £5 Rayman now. So the question is, did I finally manage to add Rayman to the PlayStation Platinum project? You'll have to stick around for the pickups to find out. Just one last thing I want to show here before we go back to the games room for those pickups. This PlayStation 2 TV. Still one of the best pieces of PlayStation merchandise I've ever seen. The London gaming market had been incredible. I'd added some games. Let's get to the pickups. Here we are then, back in the games room from the London gaming market. It was an absolutely awesome weekend, and it was so good to meet so many viewers of the channel and even some fellow YouTubers. That's what I love about these gaming markets. They're not just about picking up games for the collection, they're also about meeting some awesome people. As well as meeting some awesome people at the London Game Market, I also managed to get some awesome pickups and cross off some games off the PlayStation Platinum project. And this first game to cross off the list is a big one. Need for Speed Road Challenge. Now, I'd never even heard about this game before I started the PlayStation Platinum project. And that is what I love about the PPP, is learning about missing games, hidden gems, games I never knew existed. And the main thing I wanted to do with this series as well is go back and experience these games, if not for the first time, to relive some of these classics. But that is exactly what we're going to do now. For the first time ever, I'm going to play a Need for Speed game on the PlayStation 1 with this Need for Speed Road Challenge. Here we go then, Need for Speed Road Challenge. First time I've ever played this game. This is Hot Pursuit. I don't see any other cars. It's one of those classic things. I don't know how to see the view. There we go, that's a slightly better view. So, obviously off to a good start. And straight away, like graphically, yeah, this game looks pretty impressive. Nice environments, it handles fairly decently. Yep, there, handbrake there. Yeah, it just handles like your kind of traditional Need for Speed game. And for a PlayStation 1 game, I actually surprised the graphics at least held up quite nicely. The controls are fairly tight. Definitely feels slightly more arcadey than, say, some of the other kind of games. And there's the police. I'm not entirely sure why the police are chasing us on a racetrack, but I guess we are busted. No, we are back in the game. These are some aggressive police officers in this game. Like, definitely some of the most aggressive police I think I've seen in any game. Like, to basically flip you in mid-air is a little bit intense. So I guess we have to try and complete a lap before the police catch us. No idea, but now we're in the town, so it's a strange place to build a racetrack. Scuffed here. This is a little bit of a destructive environment. Yeah, I think definitely in this game, Premier Police is not the best way of doing it. We've been fined again. And we just got a ticket. for grabbing a police car, about 70 miles an hour, we did get a ticket. Pretty cool, double routes, don't really see that too often in games. No police car, I'm going to try not to ram, probably rather stay in the road, I should try not to ram the police cars, that doesn't seem to work in this game at all.
We have a speedy BMW M5, half a clip past the village.
But yeah, this seems like it controls fairly well, like the graphics are good, the AI is incredibly aggressive. The cars don't have some of the best brakes it seems in this, like I have the brake units of Victoria's and the car is just kind of keeping it going, but yeah, for a game I've never played on a PlayStation 1, this is a decent game. I definitely recommend picking up Need for Speed Road Challenge. So Need for Speed Road Challenge was a fairly expensive game to cross off the list for £20, but there's still some cheap games we need to cross off the list. Games such as this, Firestorm Thunderhawk 2, which is essentially like kind of a more modern imagining of like the jungle and kind of even urban strike games. This one was only £4, and it goes to show even at the gaming markets you can still get some bangers for cheap. Speaking of cheap, this is a game which I put off picking up for a long while. I think at one point this was £18 or £20 in CX. It has more recently gone down to £15, but I managed to pick up Toy Story 2 for just £10. Now, unfortunately, this is a game I don't really have any nostalgia for, but a lot of people have said about how good this game is, so it is one I'm looking forward to checking out because I just used to love some of these kind of movie tie-in games on the PS1. It just keeps happening. I can't help it. As I said, to my excuses, it is busy, it is hot, it is manic, it is hectic at these gaming markets. I could keep making excuses, but essentially, again, I picked up FIFA Road to World Cup 98. Now, I will just say this is a condition upgrade to my last copy, so let's just kind of ignore that happen. It nearly happened again. I nearly picked up Moto Racer. What it is, of course, Moto Racer 2 that I needed for the collection, and I'll be glad to kind of cross this entire franchise off the list. I'm actually surprised that like a rather generic looking motorbike racing game from EA sold as many copies as it did. Don't forget, all of the games that were released for the PlayStation Platinum line sold over 400,000 copies. That means somewhere in the world there is 399,000 other copies of Motor Racer 2. This for me was a real find. It wasn't super expensive. I can't actually remember how much I paid for this one, but Heart of Darkness. And the big thing about this one, yes, it is complete, but it has the 3D glasses still unpunched. And I'm amazed I actually managed to find the Platinum version of this with the 3D glasses. I actually have the black label copy of this with the 3D glasses, and never in a million years I think I'd have the Platinum version complete with the glasses. So the final big question of this episode, did I manage to get Rayman crossed off the list for £5? Well, I am going to cross it off the list. It was marked at £7, but eventually I did meet in the middle at £6 because this game has just annoyed me for so long now. I cannot just keep chasing a copy of Rayman for £5. I'm sure the next time I go game hunting I will find Rayman for £5, but it's done, it's crossed off the list. I have both the Rayman games, let's just not talk about it anymore. So there we have it, the London gaming market was a success. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or let's just say 6, because one of them is FIFA Road to World Cup 98, to cross off our list. That takes us up to an unlucky 113 games out of the 160 games that we need to complete the PlayStation Platinum project. Now, one of the most satisfying parts of the video is this crosses off the list and add them to the shelves. The London gaming market had been incredible. It meant we could cross some more games off the list, including Motor Racer 2, and finally, even I paid £6 for it, crossing Rayman off the list. But I think my favourite pickup this time was Need for Speed Road Challenge, as I'd never seen it before. There we have it then, folks. Another episode of the PlayStation Platinum Project is in the bag. And our grand total now is 113 games out of the 160 games that we need to complete the PlayStation Platinum Project. It's only going to get harder, and I'm going to increase the radius of my search, and I'm going to be hitting up some amazing new shops to try and complete the PlayStation Platinum Project. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and until next time, let the games begin. See us soon.